The 1930s was the dawn of the golden age of comics, when masked vigilantes, mystical magicians, and superpowered titans first graced the pages of pulp adventures. Who was the best of the best? Today we're counting down the top 10 heroes of the 1930s, from occult detectives to billion-dollar Batman. So buckle up, because we're about to take a trip back in time to where it all began. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Doctor Occult, one of the first ever superheroes brought to life by the legendary creators of Superman, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. This guy was a supernatural detective who dealt with ghosts, demons, and dark magic, all while rocking a trench coat and fedora. Cool? Absolutely. But compared to the icons later on this list, he feels more like a paranormal investigator than a true superhero. Still, you gotta respect the originals. At number 9 we've got Slam Bradley, another tough guy from Siegel and Shuster. This private detective didn't have superpowers, gadgets, or a cape, just his fists and pure grit. Think Indiana Jones meets Dick Tracy, throwing down with gangsters and criminals. But in a world soon to be dominated by superheroes, he was more muscle than myth. A tough guy, but not quite legendary. Next up at number 8 we have Zatara, the original magician superhero, dressed like a Vegas performer. This guy cast spells by speaking backwards, so if he wanted to set someone on fire, he'd have to say, "Erif, no, Nichert," instead of "turn on fire," and boom, magic. Sure, it sounds cool, but imagine having to think that fast in a fight. Still, he paved the way for Zatanna, who, let's be real, took this gimmick and did way better with it. At number 7 we have Sandman. No, not the guy from the Neil Gaiman comics. This Sandman, Wesley Dodds, was a masked vigilante who used a gas gun to knock out criminals. Unlike other superheroes, he was more of a noir detective than a superpowered fighter. His creepy gas mask and trench coat gave him a mysterious edge, and he was a big influence on the Golden Age storytelling. But let's be real, knockout gas doesn't exactly scream unstoppable hero. At number 6 we've got the Crimson Avenger, DC's first real masked crime fighter. He started out as a shadow-style detective wielding pistols and solving crimes, but later he upgraded to a costume and a superhero action, paving the way for masked vigilantes like Batman. Cool, yes. Legendary, not quite, but he deserves respect for starting the trend. Cracking the top 5 we've got Blue Beetle. Starting as a masked detective, he eventually gained superpowers and wore a chainmail suit for protection. He was one of the few Golden Age heroes to have a successful reboot, inspiring later versions like Ted Kord and Jaime Reyes. While he had a solid start, he was still a work in progress, unlike the legends who come next. At number 4 we've got Namor the Submariner, the first ever comic book anti-hero. Half human, half Atlantean, Namor was a strong, arrogant, always up for a fight, sometimes even against other heroes. While he's an underrated powerhouse, his bad attitude kept him from reaching Superman or Batman levels of fame. Still, bow down to the King of Atlantis. Blazing his way to number 3 is the Human Torch. Not Johnny Storm. This guy was an android who could set himself completely on fire. He was one of Marvel's first great superheroes, and the key member of World War II's Invaders team. Fireproof robot superhero. Yeah, that's about as Golden Age awesome as it gets. At number 2, we've got the hero who started it all, Superman. Super strength, flight, X-ray vision. Superman defined what it meant to be a superhero. Without him, we wouldn't even have this list. But while Superman was revolutionary, there was one hero who took the concept and made it even cooler. You all know where we're going with this, because he hasn't appeared on the list yet, and you know it has to be number 1, Batman, the Dark Knight, world's greatest detective, and the Caped Crusader. Unlike Superman, Batman had no superpowers, just intelligence, skill, and a billion-dollar arsenal. Driven by tragedy, he fights crime using his mind and fists alone. He's arguably the most popular superhero of all time, and his impact on comics, movies, and pop culture is undeniable. There you have it, the top 10 heroes of the 1930s. Who's your favorite? Drop a comment below. If you've enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more comic book deep dives. Until next time, stay heroic.